I dropped out of high school at 16, but not for the reason you'd expect. I didn't leave because I was failing. I wasn't skipping class or getting into trouble. I got kicked out for hacking into the school's computer systems. And that experience taught me something about learning structure and success that no classroom ever could. When I was 13, my parents scraped together enough money to buy me a secondhand computer, and something in my mind ignited. I didn't just want to use it. I wanted to understand it completely. I spent every night, all night, learning about how it all works. Not because anyone told me to or advised me that it's a good career, but because I just couldn't stop my insatiable appetite for how it works. By 16, I'd self-taught 5 programming languages and written tens of thousands of lines of code. The school had a computer system, and I was intrigued. I found ways to hack in. Not to change grades, because I didn't really care about my grades, but I found ways in because I wanted to see if I could. I'd expose one vulnerability, the IT teacher would patch it. Next week, I'd find another one and do the same. Eventually, they called me. They sent me home on an indefinite suspension. And here's what I learned from that. School punished curiosity instead of directing it. The institution wasn't set up to channel intense interest into productive outcomes. It was set up to process average students through a standardized system. And when someone didn't fit that system, instead of adapting, they removed the problem. Dropping out didn't make my life easier. It removed the safety net. There was no fallback, no credential to hide behind, and no system or structure to carry me forward. I had to learn real-world skills really fast, or fail publicly. And that's the part people romanticize about dropping out. That's actually painful. Forced competence. When there's no backup plan, you either figure it out or you don't. There's no middle ground. There's no good enough. I was 16, no qualifications. Someone called my parents asking a weird question if I had the ability to hack into their company's computer systems. It's very intriguing for them. Their IT manager of this commercial real estate firm had some sort of dispute with the company, and the IT manager had locked the entire company out of their entire system, meaning the company was weeks away from bankruptcy if they couldn't gain access to their data again. So they asked me if I could help. I spent a weekend restoring access to their entire system, got them back up and running. And I got paid $2,000 for that. And something happened that weekend as well, because the owner told me I was smart enough to run my own company, which at the time I was 16 and didn't really stick that well, and I was very confused about what he was talking about. But later on, that advice was worth more than the money I was paid. Now, I want to be clear about this. I don't think most people should drop out, not because school's valuable, but because most people aren't ready to operate without a structure. Dropping out worked for me because I'd already had the skills that had value. I could create outcomes. I had something to offer. Without that, dropping out is just dropping out. It's not a romantic story. It's not a badge of honor. It's just a limitation. So the lesson in this video isn't quit school. The lesson is stop outsourcing thinking. School trains you to follow instructions. Don't question anyone. Wait for someone to tell you what's important. Defer to some sort of authority. That's useful for employment. It's deadly for entrepreneurship. The real skill, the one school doesn't teach, is directing your own attention, deciding for yourself what matters, and learning without permission. And I did that with the computers, not because I was necessarily gifted, but because I was obsessed. And obsession creates competence faster than curriculum. Looking back, what actually mattered wasn't necessarily dropping out. It was being forced to create value without credentials. No degree to hide behind, no institution vouching for me. Just, can you solve this problem or not? That filter is brutal, but it's also honest. The market doesn't really care about your story. It cares about your output. I learned that at 16. Most people learn it at 40 or never. When there's no safety net, you develop skills differently. You don't learn abstract future value. You learn because you need it right now. The urgency creates competence faster than any course. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Most people are more capable than they realize or give themselves credit for, but they've never been forced to find out. The structure they're in, the job, the industry, social expectations, their spouse or whatever, keeps them comfortable enough to never test their limits. Dropping out removed that comfort for me, not by choice, but by circumstance. I don't recommend manufacturing crisis, but I do recommend questioning whether your current structure is developing you or just containing you. I dropped out of high school at 16 because they kicked me out for curiosity that they couldn't control. 20 years later, I built multiple companies, generated $100 million in revenue for myself, and helped countless agency owners, founders, and consultants build businesses that create freedom. So the lesson isn't really about school, it's about this. Sometimes Systems that aren't designed for you will either hold you back or push you out. Either way, the real education happens when you take responsibility for your own development. No one's coming to teach you what actually matters. You have to decide to learn it yourself.